Hopefully it works.
We're live.
Live.
I don't see any people though.
That's all right. Okay. Menus updated. There we go.
I start texting
Okay.
my friends. We're live.
Hurry up. Looking very forward to coming home tomorrow. 80-degree temperature difference. Yeah. And lots of snow.
Lots of snow.
Great. Well, you guys have lots of snow.
Oh, we do have lots of snow. It's now kind of settling. When it first fell, it was super fluffy. It was big.
I got the baby blue background. Come on, what are you talking about?
Baby blue with white cabinets, cream cabinets.
Totally.
It's got to put on the disco lights.
I've not figured out though how to give ourselves sound effects though for this little adventure that we're about ready to go on. The whole gang is here.
They must just show up on your screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it.
Can't see how many people are on. From where I'm at.
We should probably they should probably get rolling here.
All right.
Okay. Welcome everybody to the 43rd episode of the Barriques Coffee My Treat Show. You have us in two different locations, one very small fin from so far away. Oh, that's pretty funny. And then my large head in the screen. We have got two different guests tonight, which should be pretty fun. A longtime Barriques supporter, as well as a place that I've enjoyed eating over the years, especially on my birthday back in the day. And we've got Ryan Mellinger from Jodo Saki's, who's going to join us as well to tell us a little bit about what to expect in our third edition of the Jodo Saki tasting, which should be pretty cool. I'm super looking forward to that. And then, of course, a bottle of wine and a new, I should say, a newly released, is that the right way to talk about Porter Joe? Something like that? Sure. Coffee of ours, seasonal release. Let's call it seasonal.
It's the new decade.
And a fun event. A new decade, right? 2021. Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? I think in the description I called it 2020 because I still haven't figured out what year it is. But a neat event with Wisconsin Brewery, whom we developed that coffee for initially. But let's get right into wine talk then. And just before we talk about this Portuguese wine that we've got as a wine deal, I went back and grabbed another bottle of the Underwood Pinot Noir 2019 vintage that we talked about last week, just to see if it was as good as we were thinking it was. Honestly, it was better. It is like phenomenal. That's definitely one I'm gonna buy a case of. That's yeah. I mean, like just the right amount of berry, the right amount of dryness, and flavor complexity and stuff like that. It's just it's great. But our wine of the week is not from Oregon. It is actually from Portugal, and it's a teeth stainer. Quinto, how do you pronounce the second name? Atade. It's an enormous bottle of wine, and one of the things I think you should, it's a 2015 vintage, which is unusual. We don't normally talk about vintages from 5 or 6 years ago. Why in this case are we drinking a 2015 bottle of wine? And what's kind of special specifically about this wine and kind of the region that it's from?
Well, the wine itself is made by Wares, and you might know the name Wares. It's a famous port house and the Symington family, and they found this kind of unique estate within the Douro River, and but it's a more of a flat level. If you think of when you see Portuguese vineyards, they're stepped and super steep and everything else, where this is more loam and limestone, but a flat plain. And so it's a very unique chunk of property that they got their hands on. The estate was founded in 18th century. And when the Symingtons took it over, they completely converted it to organics. And this particular wine is mostly Tinto Roriz and Tinta Franca, and with a couple other Portuguese varietals. But in typical fashion with Portuguese wines, they typically will hold them at least 2 years in barrel, an additional year in bottle or more prior to a release. And so this is actually current vintage for the market. I think it probably came in back in November, I think, originally into Wisconsin. So, but in Portuguese style, unlike a port, which is like much more, ruby port is much more fruity. This one's more inky and thick, and really has an intense kind of chew to it.
Yeah, I mean it's a glass stainer.
Yeah.
Against your black shirt, it looks black.
I'm gonna stand sideways.
Or against the white. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, it's like wickedly dark. And it's fairly sad that I actually don't have it in my hand right now. But if you get somebody looking for like, go ahead.
I was gonna say it has a little bit of that kind of raisiny intensity, so it's great for like heavily reduced stews and meats and wild game, and it's an appropriate wine for something like that.
Cool. Yeah, if you're looking for a uber hardy red, perfect probably for the weather that we've got going on up there, this is a great choice, and probably better. This typically will sit on the shelf at about $22 a bottle, and the deal this week was $16.99, so a larger than average discount for some of our wine deals. Just, I mean, it's for $16-17. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I've been saying that one of the the next future, what is going to be the cult wines that people will go after, it will be Portuguese wines, just because of these like incredible field blends that they come up with, and they're just amazing in complex and intensity.
Yeah, and without a doubt, I can't think of many $16 wines. Like when we did the Juggernaut cab deal, when it was on deal, and it didn't even quite get to that price, but close. I kind of had the same sort of feel, but not many at the price point that we're talking about here. You just don't see it that often.
Yep.
Yeah. So that wine and everything else that we're going to talk about tonight, minus what we're about ready to talk about next, which has something to do with chicken, I understand, is available for sale on the barriquesmarket.com website under the events section, CWT, the January 27th show. This bottle of wine and everything else is available for purchase. I know we sold quite a bit of it today, so our inventory quantities might be a little light. If you are not able to get the amount that you are looking for, just shoot Finn or I an email, or just go to the website and you can click on the contact us, and that comes to us as well, and we'll be happy to try to hook you up. So that is our wine. So one of the other things that we've been doing in 2021 is trying to bring some of our fellow restaurateurs into the show to tell us a little bit about what they're doing, give them an opportunity to talk about maybe some new things that they are kicking off the year with to try to help get them through this, what is really going to be just an insanely tough winter for any food service business. And we've been sort of focusing on those people that we've been regular customers of or are customers of ours. In this case, the Nitty Gritty has been, gosh, man, they are a neighborhood or a Madison like tradition going back way beyond even me, and are a good customer of ours, a coffee customer, and a place that you know, of all you start building up lists of places that you want to go once this whole pandemic is over. This will be one of those places. And I'm going to bring in Lee Peer, who is one of the owners at Nitty Gritty. He's going to talk to us a little bit about a new concept that they are working on, amongst a few other things. So let me get Lee here. Hopefully he's ready. There you go.
Hey,
Lee, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you guys? Good to see you.
Very good. Yeah, you as well. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, you got it.
You want to people in the industry will be aware of kind of what you guys are doing in the form of this sort of ghost kitchen concept, and it's starting to pop up. We've seen some news articles about it certainly in the national media, and we started to see some things locally in Madison. You all are not necessarily the only ones that are doing this, but tell us a little bit about, you know, kind of what the, from concept to you've got a menu and now you're ready to go, because I think it was something that just literally launched within the last like week or two.
Yeah, we launched it about 2 weeks ago. It's Cluck. It's a fried chicken restaurant, and it's been a concept that's been in the back of our brains for a while. But then, you know, COVID hits and everything happens and you shut down, but then you also got to figure out as a restaurateur other ways to make revenue. If you're in this business, you're doing a wine show and you're, you know, doing things like that you have to figure out a way to keep the doors open for tomorrow. And Cluck really, we were able to do that because also it's good timing with the emergence of the third-party delivery sites. So the Nitty Gritty did not have delivery. Like we don't have your traditional like pizza style delivery drivers. But, you know, no different than Barriques, right? You can order Barriques and you can pick it up, or you can, I mean, crazy, you can get a cup of coffee delivered nowadays, which is awesome. So we knew that this was coming, and then we, you know, kind of developed this out of what can we do that we already do well, and we make burgers and we make sandwiches. You know, we make burgers. That's what we're well known for. That's what we've put our stamp on for 52, 53 years now, 1968-ish. So yeah. So Cluck came around, and it like you mentioned, Matt, the virtual restaurant / ghost kitchen restaurant, we're not trying to hide it. Like, you're going to pick up Cluck at the downtown Nitty Gritty. Like, you walk in and you're like, oh, I got an order for Cluck, but this looks like it's the Nitty Gritty. It is like, it's coming out of our kitchen. Our executive chef, Ryan, came up with this menu. He took quality ingredients and spices and recipes that he knew our staff and we could do really well, but you wouldn't necessarily walk into the Nitty Gritty and think Southern fried chicken. You know, it's not like you're walking into Gus's in Nashville, Tennessee, or, you know, some of these places that are really, really well known for fried chicken. And we didn't want to be flash in the pan type chain concept where, you know, we wanted to do something really, really well with a few ingredients. Our menu's really limited. The menu's not huge. But if you're out on a site and you want a chicken sandwich, you wouldn't necessarily think of the Nitty Gritty. But if you click on Cluck, you will get your chicken options. So yeah, it's been fun.
Which of the, I know it is a pretty small list of items on menu, but which has been sort of the standout favorites, or been one that has exceeded your sort of expectations?
Yeah, I think the most popular, because of just Southern Fried Chicken, you see Nashville Hot. That right there, that speaks to what Southern Fried Chicken and the fried chicken sandwich culture is built around. But I've got the, like, if I would say, like, what's my personal favorite, and I've eaten all these several times. Our bao chicken sandwich we have, which is in a traditional style Asian lotus leaf style bun, which you wouldn't, like, when you get it, you're kind of like, whoa, but it's awesome. Pickled carrots and cucumber and ginger and things mixed in there that, again, you would not necessarily associate with the Nitty Gritty. But
For sure.
when we have, we've got a really, like, Ryan leads our culinary team, and they come up with this, and it's a great way for us to kind of explore other avenues of revenue.
For sure.
Hey, Lee.
And keep
Yeah.
people that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
When is Cluck available?
Cluck's available, whenever we're open, basically, and you can order it. We're on the third-party delivery site, so you can't call the Nitty Gritty and place an order for Cluck. So there's a little bit of, a learning curve there for the general public. But you can, go through Eat Street, DoorDash, those places. And right now we only launched it downtown. So, you can order it from 11 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. So when the Nitty Gritty's operating, Cluck is basically operating. I mean, it's a good problem to have in this era, in the COVID era. But there have been several times where you won't see Cluck open, and you'd be like, wait a minute, it's 5 o'clock on a Friday night. Why isn't Cluck serving food? Fortunately for us, and unfortunately for the customers, we're too busy at that time to try to manage Nitty Gritty in-house business at 25% capacity, Nitty Gritty takeout business, and try to also do Cluck takeout business. So that's the part that we're trying to figure out right now, how logistically we make that all work and how we take it to the rest of the communities. Like I said, we're only downtown right now. We'd love to be able to offer it in Middleton and Sun Prairie, but there's some growing pains there and a learning curve that we've got to make sure we're able to execute it as we want to, going forward. So, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's great news that you are able to be busy enough that sometimes you have to shut off the clock. It would be a bummer if you got to Eat Street and couldn't find it and you had to say, like, what the clock?
Yeah.
Been waiting to
Very,
say that.
very
all
good.
week.
Very, very good. What the Cluck? Yeah.
Good stuff. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it's been
Cluck?
fun, and I mean, we
But that's
appreciate
great.
your support and your partnership with us, and I appreciate being able to be here and talk about it. So yeah.
Just let us know when you can figure out
Cool.
how to ship me my birthday mug of beer.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, right? I think that's gonna take the Wisconsin legislators' involvement maybe a little bit, but we'll see if we can call a few people.
It's not Saran wrap.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, best of luck to you guys over this winter. It's good to see other Madison businesses coming up with new creative ways to keep themselves occupied and keep cash in the door. And everybody that's out there listening, go grab yourself some chicken, if not a burger or two while you're at it.
We appreciate it. We
So
appreciate
you coming on.
Some coffee and some wine. We appreciate it. Yeah.
All
right. Thanks, guys.
Well, thanks, Lee.
Take care.
Appreciate it. And we'll catch you later.
All right.
Awesome. Well, there you go, Finn. Next week before the show, we're gonna have to go fried chicken.
I'd do a
Fried
basket.
chicken. Speaking of, yes, well, we'll ask actually our next guest what would go best with fried chicken, because she pairs sake with potato chips, I'm sure she's going to be able to pair sake with fried chicken. We have been doing virtual tastings since March or April, and it sort of sounds weird. The virtual tasting thing sounds weird, and it sounded weird to us until we started doing them and realized what a unbelievable world of the wine, beer, and spirits that it opened up to us. We have had the opportunity to both try a lot of different wine, beer, and spirits over the last 9 months or so. Things that we had not at all been on our radar. And most importantly, we've had just some great opportunity to meet people in the industry, whether it is the owners of these businesses, winemakers, salespeople. I don't know, Finn, what else am I forgetting in that? I mean, those are the big three, I guess, right? Importers. Yeah. A crazy list of people that, when we think about, if you go to were to go visit a winery or a brewery, in a lot of cases, you will almost never get an opportunity to talk to people at ownership level or the actual winemaker. Is just very rare, and these have given us the opportunity to do that. One of, I think, really last in 2020, we did 2 sessions with sake, with Jodo Sake and Ryan Mellinger, who I've on and I'm going to bring up here. So hopefully, Ryan, you're ready for us. I know we're a little behind, so.
Hi, I'm ready.
Awesome. I was just saying, 2 for sure of my favorite tastings in 2020 were the sake tastings we did with you.
Exciting.
If they would have been no matter what, just because it just completely opened my eye to something that I now regularly drink and just had not been on my beverage radar. And 2, they are just, because they're that good. I mean, they are just, I think they're surprising to a lot of people. If I wasn't somebody who regularly drank sake, and I just didn't get it. And both with your and the knowledge that you kind of passed along to us, and becoming just a little bit more of a discerning customer, it was great. It was the best. It actually literally was the best beverage awakening for me,
that's
anyway,
awesome.
in 2020. I don't know about you, Finn. That's a big sell right there.
Yes,
But
thank you. I can sign off now.
There you go, you're done. We have our third edition of sake coming up a week from Friday.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, right? The 5th of February. Tell us what people can expect, maybe both new people that are new to sake and maybe the folks that have done both of the prior versions with us before. And you definitely don't have to have done them. You can come and do number 3 with us and be maybe just a little behind, but certainly it's not going to hurt you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I'm excited to do another one. 3rd time's a charm, although the last 2 were charming. And I would love to talk, we import sake from 10 different breweries. So we have so many different sakes that we could fill up 10 more shows, I'm sure. So each time we're tasting something a little bit different. So people who have participated in the past will enjoy these other sakes. And those who hadn't participated before will really get a unique opportunity to taste 5 different sake or so side by side, which, if you're new to sake, is one of the best ways to experience it, because it's really unlike any other beverage. And oftentimes when you're out having sake, you might just have one and then another one maybe a month later. But to taste side by side, you really get to discern the differences. And we taste all over Japan. So with this lineup on Friday, we're going from the northern snowy region of Yamagata down to the southern part, where we'll go through Hiroshima, which has great sake that's really good with shellfish and a little bit warmer climate. And we'll even taste some really funky, unique sakes, like unpasteurized sake, which is definitely something to look out for if you ever see it, because it's not something that's always available, but a super fun style of sake. So there's so many different types. And I would love especially to talk on Friday about sake pairings. I think we often think sake sushi or sake ramen, but there's so much different wonderful cuisines and craftsmanship behind Japanese cooking. And just like I was getting hungry listening to your previous guest talk about fried chicken and burgers. I mean, Japanese have awesome fried chicken. They call it karaage, but it's so good. I feel like every country has a good fried chicken recipe. So we'll dive into that, and we'll talk about the breweries. We'll talk about how sake is made. And I always hope that I have more sake converts like you, Matt. But I also mostly hope that people can walk away with some knowledge, feeling more confident, so that the next time they go look at a menu or a shelf at Barriques, they can say, oh, I like this style. They know what to look for. So if I can do that, that's my goal is complete. But also hoping that people can walk away with a little nice buzz and enjoy a little snack and relax. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly accomplished that mission last go around. Finn and I have talked about it a number of times.
Great.
And I think one of the coolest things about the product that I didn't realize would influence how much of it I would try and drink was just the shelf stableness of it. You don't have to drink the whole thing. You can try a bunch of them and open a bunch up and put them in your refrigerator, and they're good for quite a while.
Yeah,
which coming from the wine world, it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is nice because you just don't feel, you feel like you can try a bunch of things and not have them go to waste. You can take away for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Exactly. There's
awesome.
Nothing like feeling like you have to rush through something. You can enjoy it in your own time.
Absolutely.
All
right. Finn, any other last questions for Ryan?
No, the one thing is on the with the pairings or with the sakes, there will be some pairing suggestions. And out of all the tastings that we've ever done, this is the one tasting that people everybody's eating. So
good.
It's great to have food during the tasting because everybody's always eating during this tasting because it's great with food. So
yes, good. It's very much a food sake, so hopefully people mute themselves when they're opening up and snacking on their potato chips.
Good plan. I'll remember to make sure to have that done.
Okay.
Ryan, thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to seeing you on the 5th, and looking forward to learning more about sake.
Great, guys. See you next week. Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Awesome. So we have in the tasting pack for the sake, it's $39.99, and that includes 3 different bottles. You can upgrade that for an additional price to get a 4th bottle. Brandon mentioned 5, and it was just because of a little inventory snafu that we had. So we're going to probably taste through 5. Some of you will have you can have an option to have 4 out of the 5. Basically, is the way it kind of worked. But it should be a lot of fun. And that again is Friday, February 5th at 7 o'clock. This Friday, we're doing a French Rhone tasting. You still have an opportunity, if you would like to participate, to buy these bottles. It's a 3 bottle set of Rhone wine. And the neat piece about this tasting is it's Rhone, but lots of different expressions of what you can find in the Rhone Valley. So I'm looking way forward to that. Rhone Valley wines are ones that we are kind of go-to wines, especially with food, and just typically offer a lot of value for the dollar. I mean, that the Xavier Larac has been a wine that we've had in store for quite a while, and it's smoking good. It kind of reminds me actually a little bit of this Portuguese wine that we've got on deal this week. So that is Friday. That's this coming Friday at 7 o'clock. You were going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, the Xavier Vignon is a cult winemaker within the Rhone. He's produced multiple big Chateauneuf de Pops and for other producers, but this is his own label. And so he's, I would say he's under market for the quality that he's putting out right now.
For sure. Yeah, that bottle and one other are part of the base tasting packs, 33.99. You can spend a little extra for the third bottle if you'd like, but it's a pretty reasonable price for the experience. And you'll spend hour and a half with us and their national sales manager. So it should be Marin Royer, which should be a lot of Royer, sorry. I always want to throw this R in there. My French is terrible. Non-existent, in fact. That should be fun. Looking out a little further, we've tried to peg the upcoming Valentine's Day holiday weekend with a few tastings. We've got kind of another big boy tasting on the 19th, so that's the Friday after Thanksgiving, or Friday after Valentine's Day. And it's with a very cultish wine producer, the Prisoner Wine Company. It's a 3-pack of 375 milliliter bottles for $94.99. And we've got Christy Whitman, who is going to be joining us, who's the winemaker. Most of you probably are familiar with the Prisoner Red. It's one of the, I would call it, more recognizable wine brands in the United States, certainly in that cultish category, I believe, versus iconic, which we talked about last week. Yeah, there you go. That looks like it's far away, but that's okay. But that is out there and available for sale. So that's Friday the 19th. And then we just sort of put the final touch of details on a neat event on the 13th, so a day before Valentine's Day. In front of the screen there, in front of Finn, he's got a bag of coffee. It is our Porter Joe blend, just released yesterday, day before, this week. Today. I want to say hit stores today probably. Finn, tell us a little bit about Porter Joe. This is a collaboration that we have been doing with Wisconsin Brewing, but talk a little bit about Porter Joe and like how it's put together, the roasting style, and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, Porter Joe was a little bit of a brainchild out of the roastery. We wanted to come up with a coffee that would marry well into a porter style beer, and what type of flavor profile that we would want to come through on it. And this has got a good dose of that organic P&G, the Papua New Guinea that we talked about last week, so that nice deep kind of roasty quality. And then we throw a couple, two different, a little bit more fruitier coffees, the Bali and the Ethiopian Natural. So you balance out that depth with some little bit more of a fruit character to it, and so you really get this nice enveloped palate. It's nice and round, and there's a few other coffees that we throw in there, but that's proprietary information.
For sure.
It's the secret ingredient.
The secret ingredient, right. But yeah, we put this coffee together, as Finn said, specifically geared around a beer they wanted to create called Porter Joe, which they launched every year. It usually was in the fall, actually. They didn't do Porter Joe this year, but they have been doing something called Cupid's Envy, and a bigger boy version of that called Cupid's Revenge, if I'm not mistaken. They are releasing those two beers. Well, they're releasing Cupid's Envy, 2020 version, here in February on the 12th and the 13th. You can pick this beer up with. And so what we did is we have put together kind of I would call it a tasting pack of sort of foodstuffs that would go well with beer. And so when the Cupid's Envy tasting pack that's available for sale on our website consists of a pound of our coffee, or a bag of our coffee, I should say, 12 ounces of our coffee, one of the Love Bug Schulen's chocolate bars, and a number of squares of Schulen's chocolate, including the Cafe Columbia, which is made actually with our Colombian coffee, and the Wisconsin butter chocolate, all from Schulen's. And then coming out of our kitchen, we've got our infamous bacon candy. So there's a portion of that. So for $29.99, you get all that stuff. The pickup location is actually going to be at Wisconsin Brewing, because what you're going to also do is you're going to go to their website and you're going to pre-order the Cupid's Envy, the 2020 version of the Cupid's Envy. I was looking on the website today. The 2019 version of Cupid's Revenge, which is just it's a more aged version, as I understand it, of the Cupid's Envy. Correct?
Correct.
And these are in 4-packs. And I think you'd also maybe pick up a 2019 version of the original 2019 version of Cupid's Envy as well. I think it was also up there.
Yeah, they do have.
Okay.
They do have some of those also.
Yeah, so you can pre-order the beer on their site. You can buy the tasting pack on our site. You pick them all up at Wisconsin Brewing. We're going to make this as complicated as possible on the 12th and the 13th. In fact, Finn is going to be there handing these things out, and then you will get an invite to tasting with the Wisconsin Brewing's King of Beer, Kirby Nelson, which will take place that Saturday evening at 6 o'clock. And we'll talk through the beers. You don't have to necessarily buy all 3 of them that are available, but it would be great. I'm sure they would appreciate it. Cupid's Revenge is not an inexpensive 4-pack, but very unique.
It's definitely very you want to share.
And we'll 100%. Yes. In fact, you could split this 4-pack up in 4 ways, no problem. Maybe even 8 ways, and you probably might be better off. But it'll be a fun pairing between their beer, the chocolate. If you want to throw down a little coffee at 6 o'clock at night, you're pretty tough. But it should be a fun, lighthearted experience. And Kirby's a great host. He's, as anybody that has any experience in Madison beer scene, he's a great dude to spend time with.
Hey, Matt, we also have Melissa from Schulen's.
Oh, she's going to join us. Awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, the whole idea of the collaboration of the Cupid's Envy is made with our Porter Joe coffee, and the beer is, once it's made, is put into J. Henry barrels from Dane, Wisconsin. And then we have the chocolates made out in Mount Horeb, and we have a chocolate made with our Colombian, and this is all kind of a local collaboration. And so we'll have David the roaster on, along with myself, Melissa, and Kirby. And yeah, like Matt said, it's going to be just lighthearted, have some fun, eat some chocolate. It's a Valentine's Day, sit down with your significant other and tip back some delicious beer.
Cool. Yeah, it should be fun. It's the pairings, both with the bacon candy and the chocolate and this beer, are like pretty knockout awesome.
Yeah,
true Wisco experience.
If any of you have ever gone to the Beer and Cheese Fest, the Barriques baking candy, because we were always handing out trays of it along with Porter Joe samples and Cupid's Envy samples, and people were just like, "Oh, this is just like incredible." So it's a good pairing.
Yeah, very much so. So that is the event is on the 13th. The pre-orders, you can pre-order beer now. You can order the tasting pack now. You're going to pick those up on the 12th and 13th at Wisconsin Brewing. I want to say it's between noon and 5, noon and 6, something like that. We would love to have you join us and a bunch of these other great Wisconsin producers, Kirby Nelson, the folks from Schulen's, our master roaster, David, myself, Finn. Should be a good time. I think that's it, Finn, if I'm not mistaken. I think we've got everything. We're woefully over time.
Yeah.
Awesome, good. Thanks everybody for joining us. Really appreciate all the support. Like we said, everything that we talked about tonight is available for sale on the BarriquesMarket.com website, minus the Cupid's Envy and Cupid's Revenge, which is over on the Wisconsin Brewery site. If you go to our tasting pack, it has all the links to this stuff. But we will very much look forward to seeing you again, having you join us for episode 44 next week. Finn and I will be actually in the same place, which will be good. And we really appreciate Lee and Ryan for playing along with us tonight. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you next Wednesday. Cheers.